Hey, what's up, everybody? So I'm gonna work on this for about an hour or so, maybe 90 minutes, maybe two. I don't know. But I had some other stuff to do, and I don't feel like doing it, so I'm gonna get something done. We're gonna get something done here, and so that's how it works. I've got a few hours before Joe Rogan. So what's up, Hector? Definitely not that. This, maybe this. Not that. All right. Just go ahead and get a little closer to the page there. And let me open up the properties and adjust focus. Focus. There we go. Where's my... thanks, Kevin. I'm definitely going to come up with a more simpler rendering style, though, for cheaper commissions. So I think what I might do is just do this red shade. I can do like the red shade and then just color in the red shade, with color pencils. So I can do something simpler for people who don't have the funds, down the way. It's been on my mind. Sometime after I'm done with these pieces, I gotta sit down and make a commission, a visual commission guide. because it's easier for me to place the blacks after the fact. Keeps the art looking brighter. I don't enjoy drawing in pencil, so I draw with the red. And then I can lay ink if I want to on top of that and create the black. So, I have a thing called synesthesia, so I see things in color like words and letters and stuff. So I don't deal well with monochromatic images. It took me a long time to learn value-based lighting because I don't see things in black and white. Like when I think of a word, I don't see letters, I see color combinations. Like the word yellow doesn't look yellow to me. It looks yellow, green, red, orange, orange, white, gray. You know? Turns out that there's this technique in painting. They're doing like a sepia base. If you do a sepia base in oil painting, then you can go over it with paints and it gives it more vibrancy. So I'm pretty certain it's pretty common. I probably should have been a painter when I was younger, learned how to be a painter. But I had an art teacher early on who was like, comics are evil. And I didn't want to do anything that weren't comic strips or comic books or animation. So I didn't sit around painting. Plus I didn't have money. My dad wasn't going to buy me paints. Crayons I had, though. I used to do a lot of this with crayons. Do you believe that shit? Crayola. I didn't get my first set of color pencils until high school. My art teacher gave me a set because she saw what I could do with them in class. I was like, I can't afford. My dad's not going to spend $100 on color pencils. She gave me the set. We didn't always see eye to eye, but she never stopped me from making the kind of art I like to make, so I'll give her that. I used to draw giant controllers. She'd go, well, what do you think you're going to do with that? I'm like, I don't know. And then here we are, right? But the red definitely gives it a warmth underneath. If I wanted something darker, like a graphic novel, Dark Knight Returns thing, I would probably use a blue. But I don't enjoy sketching in pencil at all. I never have. The grays, just, I don't know what it is. It always looks muddy to me. I can't deal with it. Some of us artists were a little weird. You know what I mean? Do I get fan art? Do I get fan art? Not often. I get people trying to recreate my saucies. These watercolor things I do every now and then. And that's fun to watch people kill themselves on that. Or do I understand it? I don't know what you mean. Hey, what's up, Karen? Been watching your series. Good times. It's fun. One of the few artists I do like follow along, and it's fun watching you stress and not me. It's cruel, but it's true. Who are my favorite YouTubers? I watch Movie Trivia Schmodown. That's the thing I watch the most. Movie Trivia Schmodown, Joe Rogan, and Liam Robertson, Insider Gamer Dude. I back their Patreons and stuff. So, but I don't follow artists, if that's what you're wondering. Karen's probably the only one I do. Oh, Jonathan Rector. He's the other artist I follow. Jonathan's a great artist. Great, good dude, great artist. I follow his stuff on YouTube. That's about it. Make everything 3D. Please, you don't want that voice stuck in your head. I don't like it. I'm always hearing my voice. Like, no, shut up. It's the hardest part is making decisions, right? And you're like committed to those decisions. It's all fun until you have to make a decision. And you're like, did I make the right decision? Do I use Copic? Yeah, I got plenty of Copic art. If you dig through the gallery, you'll see. I even did a video on the 64 colors that I generally use, but I don't do it anymore just because I don't enjoy it. If you check out my, if you go to sketchcraft.com, I got links to like, up there, my DeviantArt links and stuff. You'll be able to find a lot of my art. You'll see I do Copic, watercolor, digital, traditional. Yeah. I just rotate through. Every so often, just rotate. That blue is super. Oh, thanks, Karen. Yeah, no filters on the DeviantArt one, other than to correct the weird lighting because the lights that I use have a warm tint to them. So I try not to, but I can't stand the fluorescent cooler lights, So I feel like I'm living in Joe versus the volcano. Do I like modern shows and cars? Yeah, I watch a lot of anime, man. So I just finished up Food Wars Season 3. Well, I mean, they got the last episode this weekend, I think. And then I gotta watch Megaloblocks. A lot of the shows I watch are, like, I watch Game of Thrones. I haven't seen any Westworld, so don't talk to me about it. I mean, Season 2. Better Call Saul. I don't watch a lot of American comedies. I don't like a lot of American humor. Except Rick and Morty, I like. I like that. That's pretty fucking hilarious. And I watch a lot of, like, Australian shows, like MasterChef Australia, Game Center CX from Japan. Well, I watch a lot of weird shit. Comparatively, you know. I like that series on Netflix, The Toys That Made Us. I like that a lot. I still have to watch Luke Cage Season 2. Plenty of stuff to watch. Do I watch The Simpsons? I stopped around season 4 or 5. When they stopped telling stories and they went into like just random jokes, like Family Guy. It had its run. I think Futurama's far better. And I grew up with The Simpsons. I was watching it when it was on Tracy Ullman back in like '89. You know. So, I really wish they'd make a Bartman and Radioactive Man series or something. Kind of dropped that whole thing. I used to buy the Radioactive Man comics, Fallout Boy, and the last episode I really liked of The Simpsons was the Treehouse of Terror, where at the end Homer ends up in our world. They CGI'd him, and he ended up in the real world. And I like to think the show ended there. I'll check it out. I'll be honest, I just don't have a lot of time. So anime I really enjoy. You know, I like hand animation and I like the storyline. So that's like my number one. Movie Trivia Schmodown is my number 2, and then I fill it in with various series after that. Stranger Things I liked. I like that a lot. Let's see how the skin is more vibrant because it has that red outline, right? If that was all black, I wouldn't be able to get that. So you can tint these colors too, you know. So if I want to turn that pink into more of a brown, I can go over it with the brown color pencil. If it's black, I can't do that. I learned that from doing coloring books. I realized that the coloring books were too dark. So I would retrace them in crayon, like a red crayon or something, and then color the traces. Then people, I learned this in like the 2nd grade, and then people go, "Oh, did you draw that?" I'm like, "I drew it from a coloring book." You know, well, why'd you redraw it? You know, I was like, because it was too dark. I was always fascinated by colorful pictures like Rainbow Bright and Hello Kitty and stuff, Thundercats, anime, even in the 80s, you know. Cartoon Unicorn. Oh, I'll check it out. We'll see. Every now and then they come up with a cartoon that I think is funny. It's American made. I remember back in the day, back in like 10, 15 years ago, there was that show Drawn Together. It was like a reality show. I enjoyed that. Rick and Morty's hilarious. Invader Zim. There's an Invader Zim movie coming out soon. The direct to video, I don't know, whatever. But looking forward to that. And I'll check out this new, was it Disenchanted? The fantasy one that Groening's doing. Because I love Futurama. Love Futurama. I got my wife making me a Spice Weasel. Bam! Spice Weasel. Favorite character in Futurama. Favorite character in Futurama. Well, I like the Spice Weasel. I like Fatbot a lot. Bender's great, obviously. Bender's voice that I love. He's mean as shit, but his voice is hilarious. Zap Brannigan's probably my favorite character, though, because the world's becoming more like Zap Brannigan. So, were you on this triptych? Triptych. I don't know what that means. Is that an app or something? Oh, triptych. I get it. Is that what you call it when they link together? Yeah. Yeah, it's 3 in 1. So I'm on the middle piece. Start with Sonic, work my way around. Karen's using like the proper terminologies. I never paid attention in our class. I was too busy drawing. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that's what my art teacher would have called it. She would have been like, that's a triptych. And I'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I used to do these things in pieces in school because I wasn't going to bend paper, and I only really had access to 8.5 by 11, so I'd make things piece together. But then I started noticing, you go to an art gallery, people do like paintings and pieces all the time, I was like, funny, we never really do it in comics, right? Yeah, I'm in the middle. I'm only able to work on this a couple hours a day or so with everything going on, so. It's getting faster, but I had a bunch of other stuff to do this week too, so. And believe me, the guy knows. He knows. Hey, this is taking a while. Just no complaints from him. So. But I was saying before, like I'll probably come up with like a commission style with the color pencil where I only color in the red shade part and leave everything white, So like a Comic Con version of con. I'm calling these scribblies, so con scribblies. Right. This would be like a super scribbly. Super scribbly. I don't think that's enough. No, it's too dark. I have to use a blue to get where I want to go. I want to put a little purple in there, but I have to use a blue to get there. still doing the mag and concept work. Yeah, on top of all this. Still doing Game Cave, and I'm art directing Megavisions. And I'm doing concept art. So, I don't post everything. But the Game Cave thing is going to be moving into comics. So, in that kind of category, once I finish up the Kickstarter. And then the game magazine portions will be limited to what I do at Megavisions. So, I'll be honest, when it comes to regular game magazine stuff, I can make a whole magazine in about 2 or 3 weeks. That is literally not difficult for me. So, does my wife ever get to see you? Yeah, I just spent an hour with her. We went and got water. And I make dinner, and we spend about an hour together between dinner, and then we watch some TV, and then that's that. Tonight we're going to go see Joe Rogan live, so we'll spend tonight. And then afterward, when she goes to sleep, I'll come back and work. Thing with my wife is she kind of likes me there for a little bit. And then eventually she's like, hey, she got some stuff to do. She got some artwork to make, you know? So, yeah. It works well in that regard. Oh, yeah. I'm very, like, dude, you better have your own life, girl. Like, you better have some friends. You better go out and enjoy doing things without me. We were together a long time before we got married, and so she knows the deal. So she does this knitting thing Saturday mornings, and I encourage her to go out with her friends and spend time. Plus, she has a career, and when she needs to hunker down and learn stuff, it's nice because I'm not there to bug the crap out of her. Well, sometimes I am, and I hear about it. It's like, really? Now you want to talk? Now you want to have a conversation about Justice League? So. Yep. Yeah, my mom raised me on my mom went crazy eventually, but when she was sane, she raised me on Helen Reddy and TV shows like Alice and Laverne and Shirley. She taught me all about equality and very much into like everyone just doing their thing. Karen Carpenter. I grew up on all that stuff. You and me against the world. That kind of stuff. Yeah. It's funny. When it starts to go too much in one direction with the color, I use these other colors to push it back. You can start to add too much. Sometimes I see color pencil artists, they start to add so many color fluctuations in the art, everyone starts to become like a rainbow. Like you get greens, blues, purples, and every fucking thing. It's very tempting to do it. I really try to shy away from it. So I try to put a little bit of color fluctuation in there upon closer inspection, so you get a little bit of variance, but I try to actively avoid that weird, I don't know, sometimes it can really turn things into like LSD images. It's hard to describe. Mm-hmm. Sometimes like in the dark areas, around the edges. Like I burnished a little bit into there and in here towards the dark areas. But you want to be careful because you're just going to kill your knuckles, you know? And I really don't care if it's perfectly smooth. I like all the little tick marks and scratchies and stuff like that. Um, so only in the darker areas. Yeah. But burnishing is mostly there to try to get that real smooth, perfectly smooth, and I just don't care for it. Probably my personal favorite, like illustrator of all time is Drew Struzan, right? And like, is that line decker thing where you see the lines, and it's a lot of little lines making up everything, and I sort of prefer that. Matter of fact, I did a big burnished piece in the year 2000, and it hurt my hands so bad that I didn't do color pencil again until about 2 or 3 years ago. This is why I never posted any, because I was in such. It really didn't go well for me. It wasn't worth the effort. I don't like smudging. I don't like it. Yeah. So it's just how I prefer to work. If I wanted a smoother coverage, then what I'll do for some of that is I'm gonna start mixing a little bit of an airbrush base. And when I say a little bit, I mean very little, like just for basic coverage. So I already got the tools set up for that, and I'll start practicing that sometime after I'm done with this. I can find a friendly solution to that so I can get some base coverage. But we'll see. I mean, it may not pan out that that's what I like to do at all. I don't know. Like, I think the airbrush thing would go well for, like, if I could mask out the backgrounds and get some base coverage. But I would never airbrush. I don't like the airbrushed look. I don't like that, just for basic coverage. But, then you got a mask and knocking fight mirror. Like how much? So, how much do I want to deal with? I would never make it perfect, though. It would always have some form of bleed. I know that much. Let me get that nose. Don't blame you. Don't die of heat exhaustion for me. Thanks for hanging out, Karen. Later. Start with those gloves. Do, do, do. Hey, what's up, Luke? I appreciate it. I'm not really into post-apocalyptic garbage land. At least the new game looks more colorful, you know. I'm more of like an Uncharted guy, right? I like exploring jungles and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I like Jack and Dexter. Doubt they'll ever make another one, but yeah. Well, technically Pac-Man, but let's not get there. I'm old enough to remember Pac-Man Fever. And then Donkey Kong, and then Mario, and then Sonic, and then Crash. And all the stuff in between, and Ratchet and Clank, and Jack and Daxter. Cubert, Blinks the Cat, the Mega Man, and Rystar. Rocket Raccoon, or Rocket the Knight. Was it Rocket the Knight? They've talked about it. They could, except I don't think they have the crew internally that's used to making a cartoon game or something. Like the animation systems are completely different. So they would probably need to set up a second studio because I think they're based around mocap and their animation stuff. They'd have to do a lot of hand animation, which is not what they're actually set up for these days. Yeah, Rystar, Pulse Man, Then you get into the Amiga stuff like Super Frog. Alex Kidd on the Master System. Just drink coffee. Would you be interested if they wanted you to do some artwork for a series, cities? Oh, well, the problem with landscape art is you got to model those landscapes. If it's not in final model, a lot in the game production stuff means that I have to take my concepts and I have to actually do block modeling. And I can't deal with clicking buttons in 3D. That's why I have Jam Artsy doing that stuff for me, based off my sketches and stuff. So with the character concepts, I'm able to just render out my stuff to a point where it looks three-dimensional and it's enough for 3D modelers. But with environments, it's a bit different. There's a lot of material development and 3D block modeling that just doesn't make a lot of sense for me. What if dog was spelled C-A-T? Whoa. Son of a bitch. So, I'll have more fantasy art coming as soon as I'm able to start the webcomic stuff. So, that'll be fun. And I sort of like background to be looser, you know. Once you start getting into super details and stuff, I lose kind of interest. I like those looser backgrounds with more well-defined character art. You ever see an animated movie called like The Illusionist? It was animated. It's from the guys that did the Triplets of Belleville. Like I like backgrounds that are all concepty, but the characters are drawn pretty well. I like that look a lot. Yeah, it's a good movie. Bit of a downer. Don't watch that with the girlfriend. What other hobbies do I enjoy? Cooking and writing. Hobbies. Well, this isn't really a hobby. This is what I do for a living. So, in terms of what I do for a hobby, something in which I make no money off, that would be cooking and walking. I don't profess to be some great chef or anything, but I work on it. I would never want to do it for a living. I did pizza. I worked at a pizza joint. I worked at Pizza Hut back in the 90s when they came out with stuffed crust. And I worked at Wendy's. I didn't enjoy any of that. Smelling like food all day. Any art books you could throw? Art books I enjoy? Or my own art books? I don't have any art books. Art books I enjoy. It's been a long time. I don't really buy a lot of them. When I was younger, I did. I have the Drew Struzan stuff, which I enjoy. There's one he did. It's thinner, it's black, and all the words are in his own voice, like he wrote his own stuff. That's dope. I do have the Art of Spawn, 11 by 17, where it's the scans of the pages, that super version, and the Dark Knight Returns, which I really enjoy looking at, because it's the actual artwork scanned in and reproduced and all of its imperfections. I enjoy those. I have the Art of the Max, that giant 11 by 17. Actually, what? I did buy an art book recently, but if you call it an art book, it's the Absolute Wildcats. Check this out. Boom. This I enjoy. So it's all of it collected. That I enjoy. I think this is pretty awesome. I wouldn't call this an art book though, but yeah. Well, I'm glad I did work in there, but I didn't enjoy it. You're not gonna enjoy a lot of your jobs when you're starting out, man. Like that's called life. What I'd rather buy ballpoint pens at that point, Armando. They're cheap, and you can get a lot out of them. The Sharpies I like the Sharpie pens, like this. The Sharpie pen, this one. But I'd rather use a ballpoint at that point. think Capula's putting together a new. If Capula put together an absolute edition where, like with his Creech pages and some of its Spawn stuff, that it's full 11 by 17, the scans of the original art, I'd buy that. It's like stuff I grew up with, you know? The stuff that inspired me when I was younger. That, you know, when I look at it, it still inspires me today, you know? So. I do buy manga though, like I buy Delicious in Dungeon regularly, and I buy the Konosuba light novels. I'm enjoying those. Yeah, he was my favorite artist in the 90s. When he took over Spawn, at first it was very Jim Lee-ish. He had that Jim Lee look, and I was like, ah. But after like 4 or 5 issues, I was like, this guy. It was the issue where Spawn fought the Violator. I want to say 28, 29, somewhere around there. And I was like, well, he's officially surpassed McFarlane. Like, it was an amazing issue. And then in issue 50, I mean, it was beyond. That was the one where Todd drew the first story and Capullo drew the second, and it was just like, you know. But he had surpassed. That Spawn versus Violator fight around the late 20s is what solidified. I'm like, this guy's amazing. And the Creech and all that other stuff. I'm not really into blacks. No, I don't see things like that. You know? I can, though. You know? So it depends on the subject. I tend to draw things that are more cartoony. So I always bought Spawn and Bone, you know? So, like, Spawn and Bone, my art's somewhere between those two. Those two things, you know? Like Spawn, imagine Spawn animated by the Trigun dudes, right? Like, that'd probably be like my art, you know? Well, I like Mike Mignola's art a lot, but I prefer the earlier stuff when he used to draw the living shit out of things and then ink around it. Now it's sort of like kind of drawing outlines and filling in shadows. So, but he did that Dracula adaptation, the Dracula adaptation, and then Odyssey, and Gotham by Gaslight. But that fucking Dracula adaptation is probably my favorite. Not a lot of people. I think IDW is going to reprint it, but they better not fucking update the colors. I'll be very bummed. Oh, they did. Yeah, that's all. I already own the originals, but I didn't even like the movie, but the art is amazing. And the colors and everything. I like that a lot. But yeah, eventually Hellboy got too simplistic for me, you know? I was like, you could put a little more effort. What do I think of the new God of War? Haven't played it, so I don't know. I pre-ordered Dragon Quest XI though. Can't wait. Honestly, I picked up Steep the other day for $15, and it's been a lot of fun, you know. So I've been enjoying that. I wish the play control was a little bit more like 1080, but I don't think it's as bad as people have given it reviews for. Yeah, I could see why people have issues, you know? And so I really think if they get a chance to make a sequel, they can refine it, you know? But out of all the snowboarding games made in the last 10 years, that's probably the best one. I mean, I'm enjoying it, so there you go, right? Um, but they could definitely smooth it out. They got to stop with realism and smoothing out the gameplay and make sure it's just fun and, you know, give people the choice. Like, make a more arcadey control scheme and then make something that they think is more realistic for people who want it. But I really like the play controls in 1080 and amped, the amp series, and I think like that. I don't care if it's realistic or not. There's nothing realistic about falling down a fucking hill all day and respawning, you know. So I really just think it should fun first, you know. They made an amazing environment to play around in. I want to play in there, so I don't understand, you know. That being said, there's a lot of fun to be had. So I was playing last night. It was fun. Ah, thanks, Lewis. Open world. Yeah, but they got to make the Tony Hawk controls fun. Stop with this whole "we're gonna make it realistic." Like, just make it fun, man. You know, Wave Race isn't realistic. Wave Race was fun. Tony Hawk, the original series, wasn't realistic. It was fun. 1080 wasn't realistic. It was fun. I want quick, responsive controls. You know, I want to jump, flick, jump off things, hop back off. I don't care if it's realistic. Well, that's not how you do the moves. I don't care. I've been snowboarding. I get it. I want fun. I want to jump up on the board, flip the board off it, kick back off. I know I can't do that in real life. Who cares? And buy the video game to pretend to be a snowboarder, you know? The movie wasn't so good. Yeah. There's some cool moments. I mean, it has Angela in it, which is nice. It's got a couple really interesting shots, but it was just too ambitious for its time, you know? The cartoon was far better. Yeah, same with skateboarding. You fall down, you don't get to respawn. You break your fucking face, you know, like yeah. What kills me is there's already proven control schemes that work. Just borrow the feel of those for real. I don't understand. But I do think it's gotten some unfair criticisms. The only real criticism I can give the game is that it does this weird thing where the mountain talks to you, and that shit's stupid. They need to abandon that idea quickly. It doesn't work at all. I just turn the voice volume all the way off so I never have to deal with it. Yeah, the mountain talks to you like it's a British chick, so kind of like you know the narration in Lord of the Rings. It's it it's dumb. You can turn the voices off. So Interesting concept. Doesn't work. But I wouldn't give it a negative star for that. I would just be like, that needs to go away. It's doing nothing. Hey man, I think being on a hill, feeling nature, I get the idea what they're trying to get, that exhilaration you feel when you feel like you could feel it when you stand on the brink of pure nature. I understand that. But let me experience that without words. Having literally a voice talk to me just doesn't even fit with the rest of the game. It's just an odd concept, you know? I think that's something you try internally, play test it, and drop it, you know? But it is a gorgeous game, man. The lighting is awesome, the texture, everything's really, really fun. And at 15 bucks, dude, you can't beat it. Digital download, which is cheaper than buying it used. So, yeah, that water, it's going to be a while before they get the water down enough for that. Even today, man, it's like surfing's tough. Wave, jet skis and boats are one thing because it's surface water, but waves, I mean, that it's very complicated. No, that's the word. That Warner Brothers Interactive has been working on a Superman game, but they've yet to reveal it. So I don't know about the crew too. The reviews are so, so I'll have to wait. I don't buy games to spend money. I buy games if I'm really gonna play them. So, and with these AAA $60 games, I tend to wait until they come way down in price. Plus, I have Dragon Quest coming, so I'm beating that. So that's gonna be 100 hours of my fucking life. But these gameplay games, like games that are just based on gameplay, like racing, I miss that. They don't do a lot of good. A lot of the racing games these days are super fucking serious. So that's why I enjoy my MotorStorm. But the snowboarding I enjoy because I can play it before I go to sleep. It's more chill. It's hard to play high octane racing games and then go to bed. I get all ramped up, you know. They're not done with Batman. It's their number one money maker, bro. They never will. They'll never get tired of Batman. Batman and Robin couldn't kill Batman. It'll dip, and then they give it a break, and then it comes back. But it hasn't dipped yet, so. They'll come out with one Superman game and everyone will be like, I want a new Batman game, you know. That's how it works. At least they're making good games. Where's the fucking X-Men games? You know? I haven't had a good X-Men game since X-Men Legends. You know? It's been almost 20 years. So finally we're getting a decent Spider-Man game, but man, you know, we should have had an X-Men. Imagine if BioWare back when they were doing the Knights of the Old Republic had made an X-Men RPG. You know, how awesome would that be? So many different mutants, so many different powers. You know, dimensions. Nothing. Bunch of shitty mobile games. But I did enjoy X-Men Legends. That was fun. Hey man, it costs $300, $500 million to make one of these games. You know, that's why they don't do lesser characters. But the X-Men is you get a whole universe with that shit. So they try to put their hopes in those like MMOs like DC Online, and they didn't go anywhere. So, I don't know. I'm tired of online RPGs, bro. I like single player, man. Nope, 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 nope. They tried to make a Marvel MMO. No one wants to. What happened is, and I'll tell you why it got canceled. My buddy worked on it. He said that it got canceled. It was from the City of Heroes guys. It got canceled because you want to be Spider-Man, right? But you don't want to be next to the exact same Spider-Man. Doesn't work when you have multiple versions of the same characters running around. And that's one of the main issues they ran across. And it's like they're not going to invest. You have to be willing to lose $500 million at a minimum to get an MMO working. You know that? You got to be willing to throw away a half $1 billion on an MMO to get it up and running. That's how hard it is. It's not easy. It's extremely costly. Yeah, well, Overwatch works because Blizzard made it, you know? So they need to have probably Activision making it, and there you go. Are you playing Overwatch because of the licensing? No, it's because it's a fun game and they made original characters that you like. Hard to say. I wish they would just make something that bases, like the Spider-Man game coming out. It's playing to the strength of Spider-Man. You get to be Spider-Man, you know? I just don't care about multiplayer. Guys, I am not your generation. I don't care about multiplayer online battles. do not care. Do not care. In any way, shape, or form. Don't care. I need single player. I want to get into a game and be me in the game. I want like Witcher 3. I like, at least with Steve, it might be online, but I don't have to see anybody ever. So, I do not team up with people. I've beaten Grand Theft Auto 5 twice. Single player. I do not play Grand Theft Auto online ever at all. And I never will. I just do not care. So I have such little time that I'm not going to log on and have my entire night ruined because some asshats, The last time I played an online multiplayer game was the original Battlefield 1942. And it was fun until the night we invaded Iraq. And the whole game turned into a giant racist nightmare. I mean, some of the most vile shit I've ever seen on the internet was spewed out that night. And I was like, well, I'm done with this game. I'm never going back. I don't need this trouble. So no, I only play single player games. I might make one exception for something like Onrush, because racing does make more sense. I'd rather race against human opponents than computer AI. That I get, but I never want to talk to people. Like, Journey, never had to talk to anybody, ever. The curator said he's a big fan of the comics and taking feedback. Yeah, we'll see. The only thing about the Spider-Man game that I've seen that I'm like, I'm not too into the new character they made, the Asian mob boss guy. I'm not too into that, but as long as the regular, I was afraid for a second there we weren't going to get any real Spider-Man villains. They were just going to make up their new ones. So, but that seems to be they're just adding their own guy in, which is fine. But I don't like a lot of new made-up characters. There's so much awesome characters to choose from Spider-Man that I'd rather get those. But what I saw at E3 was pretty dope, so. Yeah, it wasn't pretty to be online on Battlefield 1942 in March of 2003, I assure you that. I was playing regular matches in Modern Combat, which was this modern mod, and it was horrible. It's like, well, I'm done. They already announced it. It's Dr. Octopus. That's not a spoiler. They announced it. Yeah. Collider was talking about it the other day. Last week. Collider ran a story on it. They were talking about it. One of the producers or directors of the game talked about it. Oh. Don't worry about typos, bro. I'm the worst. Bat metal. No, don't know what you're talking about. Oh yeah, yeah, I've seen it. My only problem, man, is like I like the art, I like the concept of it. Is it's just I don't like the books that require all these characters to go through. Like, you know, if it was a specific character story, it'd be one thing. But it's just like they're just every other panel there's a new character, you know, and I've never been the biggest fan of that, you know. So I'm not like I don't like Batman fighting like Mongol, you know. Like I'm more of Batman fighting Batman crime. So, but it's cool, you know. It's just I'm more of a Court of the Owls kind of guy, you know. If it was a specific Justice League storyline, it'd be one thing, you know. Oh, Bat Metals. Nah, I don't know anything about it. But I'll check it out. No thanks. It had its own book. I think Dark Horse printed it, or was it Dark Horse or Oni? I can't remember. They're black and white. Yeah, it's probably Oni. Used to buy a lot of Oni books back in the day, like when Kevin Smith was there. Uh, Girl Scouts with Mahfood. God damn, sometimes you're trying to figure out what angle you're supposed to. Oh yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, I own that on Blu-ray. I actually own it. Well, we disagree, Armando. I don't know, man. I really don't follow. I just use Photoshop. I own it, so I think if it's free and it works for you, then use it. I don't think the programs matter much. You know, they all essentially do the same thing. It's just whatever you have access to, go for it. When I was a kid, it was Microsoft Paint. That's all I had, and I made it work. I just did pixel art, but I made it work. But I'm sticking with my old version of Photoshop because I know how to use it. I don't do anything special. As for animation, I have no interest in animating, so whatever works for you. You can animate using notepads. You'll probably get more likes if you animate on a notepad than if you do digital clean animation. People will be like, you can really do it for real. As if you're doing it for fake in the computer, but, you know. You should just be aware that whatever you do, if you get a job in the industry, you're going to have to use industry standard software. So if they love what you do, they're going to end up training you on another program eventually anyway. So don't get too attached. I had to learn everything I ever had to do. I had to learn how to use Photoshop. Because 20 years ago, that's the only thing people use. Now they're using Illustrator and other shit. And then they're like, how did you get all those effects? I'm like, Photoshop? Well, I don't really. I'm like, well, not my fucking problem. I started using Painter in the 90s. And I was like, Painter's the best. And I couldn't get one fucking art department to buy Painter. So I had to learn Photoshop. But working from home, use whatever you prefer. Because it's about the quality of your work that's going to get you. No one really cares when you're working from home what software you use. Yeah, so there you go. All my work from home, I've never had one employer go, what programs are you using? It's never come up. They don't care. They only care when they're paying for the licenses in studio. So, and generally people who aren't artists make those decisions. That's the fucked up part about it. Some bean counter going, well, we get this deal from this guy, so we get this Adobe deal, so you gotta use the newest version though. I'm like, I don't want the newest version, The newest version sucks. It breaks. Well, we gotta update everything. I'm like, fuck. I'm not. I'm not a big fan of the series. But he looks oddly American to me now. Looks like a young David Boreanaz. Or a young Christopher Lambert. I think I even posted a picture of Raiden from the first Mortal Kombat movie next to him. I'm like, looks familiar. The only other games I'm buying this year are mainstream games. I already bought Dragon Quest XI and Red Dead Redemption. I'm buying. And that's all I got time for. If that Star Fox game Nintendo and Retro Studios are making drops this year, then I might get that too, but we'll see. And I'll wait on Spider-Man for a while. Probably they'll have like a Game of the Year edition with all the DLC. So I'll wait for that. They don't need my help. They're going to sell plenty of copies. I'm patient though, guys. I can wait. Oh, I will buy Spyro because I want to go to a game store and buy a game I worked on. So that'll be fun. I'll actually fucking go to a game store and buy something from their store. Oh. It'll have to be I don't know. I guess game. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I hate GameStop. Would have been great to go to Toys R Us, but that's not happening. Figures. Yeah, Nintendo never does though. Nintendo saves their big reveals for those Nintendo Directs. They don't care about showing stuff off at E3. And these days, they seem to only show off games that are close to release. So they were showing off Smash Bros. Anything else they showed was going to get overshadowed anyway. It's just the way it is. That's the way it is, folks. Yeah, it's a shame. Alrighty, folks. That's it. Concept art. Still working on stuff. Not concept art, but other stuff. As we speak. That's what I do all day. So, alright, everybody. Let me zoom out. And then I will adjust the focus. There. So, hard to say how the light's coming across, but it looks even smoother in person. There's only so good these fucking things do. You know. Who knows when what I did will be revealed? Maybe never. It's in the game. Doesn't really matter. All right, everybody. I will talk to you all soon. Have a good weekend. Peace. Be sure to like the video, make a comment, so Rob can get some YouTube points. It's all free. Just click the like and comment. Talk to you later. Bye. Peace. This right here is where I sell stuff. ShopSketchcraft.com. That's where you can go get stuff that I put out for sale. Buys me coffee. I'm out of here. Bye.